right? And what that does in my mencoder.conf script or configuration file, I have a profile for every goddamn screen resolution or aspect ratio that I've ever come across, and I've come across a lot of them. And what you do is you open your user's home directory, hit Control H to view hidden files, scroll down to where it says .mplayer. That's your mplayer configuration directory for your personal user, not system-wide. Open it. You'll see, or you might not see, there should be no mencoder.conf file in here, .config file. There should not be one in here. Copy the one from my website that I'm going to give you a link to. Paste it into that directory. Now, whenever you run mplayer, all these profiles are available to you from the command line. You just type in a goddamn profile name. That's all you need for mplayer or mencoder. After you copy that into your user's mplayer configuration directory, you can go back and take this x264 file and copy it into every single VOB directory and paste the video filters in right here on the second line where you see this empty space followed by a backslash. Paste all of your video and audio filters together there, right there. Remember to change your profile's name from 1.78 to whatever it is. It's probably going to be 1.78. And then the rest, you can even leave it saying movie.avi. Unless you want to, I type in the name of the movie. But anyway, you're going to paste this into each and every VOB directory and then paste in that particular VOB's video and audio filters. And then close that. Alright, so now in each VOB directory, you'll have an x264 file. That x264 file is going to call a profile from your mplayer configuration directory for your user and tell it to apply it to this VOB file as it encodes it. Now, here's the last thing you do. Have two more scripts. I call it TC1 and TC2. If you've got a dual core processor, you need two of these. If you've got a single core processor, you only need one. If you've got a tri-core, you can have three. If you've got a quad core, you can have four. You can have as many as you want, but you only should use one for each core. Otherwise, you're going to slow your shit down. Anyway, it'll make your videos longer to finish. After you've got each one of your VOB folders, or DVD movie folders with a VOB movie and a 264 script, shell script in it, go back over here, make a TC1 and TC2 script, which it stands for transcode. You can name it whatever the fuck you want. Actually, here I'll rename it T1 for transcode script 1 and T2 for transcode script 2. Now say I have 20 fucking movies over here that I've got 264 scripts with all the audio and video filters saved into them, sitting in these directories next to their VOB files that they're meant for, waiting to be transcoded. Now, what you do is you go over here in your transcode script, and you have a line that says CD for change directory. And at the very top, you need to have a pound sign or a hash sign, which is you can use get by hitting Shift 3. That's your comment symbol for scripts. You need to have a pound sign directly followed by an exclamation point, directly followed by /bin/bash. That tells the terminal when it reads this file that this is a shell script. Execute this. Alright, the first thing you're going to type on the next line is CD, which is change directory. That's a shell command, terminal command, CD space, and then the path to the very first folder that has a VOB in it. Type in the full path to that folder, not to the VOB file, to the folder. Then follow that with a semicolon and go down to the next line. The next line you'll put bash 264.sh, which tell bash to execute the shell script in here called 264.sh, which remember, there's one of them in each folder. Each folder that's got a VOB file has a 264 shell script to encode it to 264. Calling that, all it does is sets up the video filter chain and audio filter chain, and then calls the mplayer profile for that correct aspect ratio. As such, as you see here. It doesn't change the directories. It doesn't do shit. It just says, here's my audio and video filters for this VOB file. And here is the MPlayer profile to encode that VOB file. Alright, so anyway, TC1, you've got CD into that first directory, and then bash, and then 264.sh, which tells bash to execute that script in that directory, that 264.sh shell script. Execute it. Change it into that directory and execute that script. Highlight that, copy, paste, 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 and then go to each and every new line and go to the next folder in this list that contains a VOB movie, for example, folder 2. And then find out what the next folder is, and then change that path to folder 3, and then so on and so forth till you got every VOB that is in this directory in this shell script, or in this little shell script. The path to every single folder that has every single VOB and with the shell script accompanying it, 264 script. You're gonna list them all the way down here. And remember, if you've got a dual core processor, you can run 2 of these scripts at the same time. And so what you do is you take this long list that you just made, which could be 40, 50 fucking movies long, cut half of it out and paste it in the second script. That way each script's got the same number of movies. If you've got 3 scripts, cut 2/3 of it out, paste 2/3 into this, and then cut 1/3 of that and paste it in the third script, to where you split them up between 3 scripts. And then, actually, let me go ahead and wipe all this shit out so I don't accidentally execute it all. Alright. Save them and close them. And then go over here to the terminal. Drag and make. You might want to right click on these, go to properties, go to permissions, and make sure this box says allow executing file as program. Make sure that's checked. If it is, drag TC1 over into the shell prompt, terminal, hit enter. Boom, it's going to run the script. And then take TC2, drag it over to the next tab, which you can open multiple tabs on GNOME's terminal by hitting Control-Shift-T. And you can open multiple terminal tabs. Anyway, drag it in the next terminal, hit enter. Boom, you're running that script. And so for each processor, you've got a script running that is mass transcoding movies in all these directories, that in each directory has another shell script that sets up all the fucking parameters and profiles to use to encode that VOB file. So you don't have to retype all of the codec options every goddamn time for every VOB file. You don't have all them commands that you see me having to type out. Look, see all that crap right there? You don't want to type all that out every single time for every single movie and wait one at a time. You can set all that up one by one. Now, how I did my config file is at the very top of the file, it has a profile called core. That's options that are common no matter what your aspect ratio is and no matter what your quality setting is. All these options are common for every goddamn DVD that this file is going to produce. And actually, I do have a 4cc in this. The 4cc code I use is H264. Anyway, and then for each aspect ratio, I have a separate section. All of this shit, that's one aspect ratio. The next aspect ratio, all this shit's the next aspect ratio. For each aspect ratio, I have a profile with settings for only that aspect ratio. And I have P1 at the end of the profile means pass equals 1. P2 means pass equals 2. These are all 2 pass profiles. And then Q1 at the beginning of each profile name is quality equals 1. If it says Q2, that means quality equals 2. Q3, quality equals 3. I go all the way down to Q5, which is my lowest quality profile setting, which is 1400 kilobits per second. Q1 is 2200, Q2 is 2000, Q3 is 1800, Q4 is 1600, and Q5 is 1400. Below 1400, you've got a profile called Tune 1 for cartoon, Tune 2, Tune 3, and that's it. For cartoons, I only go 1 to 3. And that ranges from 1600 kilobits per second down to 1200.